All right, guys, we're about 7 weeks out from the Rogue Invitational, and we're gonna train some log press. Log is in Giants Lab World Tour Finals, where I'm gonna go for a max log as well, hoping I could be somewhere in the 215, 220 range there. But today we're gonna do it out of the rack. We're gonna move on from that and do some pressing, some bench press. Might do some seated log press, depending on how I feel, and then do some accessories after. So big pressing day today. Hope you guys enjoy. Lift LHBK, merch link in the bio, as per usual. It's been in all year. That's been helpful. A really good long cycle. I do well when I have a long time. As adaptable as I am, when I have a long time to prepare for something, I can just really figure it out. I think just exposures work really well. And I think one of the best things I have going for me is my log is one of the hardest that I've ever used, and definitely harder than anything we use in competition. So when I get used to a weight in training, it's so much easier to move to that way on a log in competition, largely because in comp we're usually using wood logs, and wood logs are slightly smaller diameter, which is easier than the metal logs. And that's why people struggle so much at the Shot Classic, because that log is wider diameter than most are used to, a little bit harder to deal with.
I think that's interesting that you said that, because a lot of comments on the program specifically are whether or not people could do this in a commercial gym. And you saying that having a harder log or something that's not quite like exactly what you'd use in competition is sometimes beneficial as well.
Yeah, massively. And in the end, the strongest person still wins. If your technique is imperfect, but you're twice as strong, let's say we're not at a world level, but you can win a strongman show training 100% in the commercial gym and figuring it out on the day if you're substantially stronger. Only when you sort of rise up a little bit do you need to be perfectly technically proficient. A lot of people have a lot of room just genetically getting stronger and improving their main lifts, but barbell press, overhead press, bench press, deadlift, squat, if you can get good at those, then you're in a pretty strong spot to be able to be a good strongman.
How are those feeling?
It's okay. Yeah, a bit funny. A little bit harder always out of the rack than if you were to actually clean it, but yeah, all in all, in hands.
As a general rule of thumb, why and how often would you include something like a pin press?
It would always be an accessory to the main movement. So I'd need to, if it's log press, I'd need to be properly log pressing at least once a week. And then if I were to incorporate something like a pin press, each variation I would only hit once a week, but I can press 3 times a week and not run into systemic fatigue. So it really depends for whoever's watching. It's quite individual. And if you can press multiple times per week and not burn out, great. If you can't, then that's more important to get your main work in. We're just talking about nerve pain. And when you say injure your back, how that behaves. And a lot of the early pain is inflammation related. And if you get a numbness or tingling, definitely worth getting checked out, and make sure you give it the respect to go check it out. But nerves are much more adaptable than people think they are. You can damage a nerve and still get back to 100% function. The reason that they get a bad rap is because, say a paraplegic, quadriplegic, if you just completely have no signal at all, it's cut. You can't regrow the nerve, but you can't regrow the nerve in the same way that you can't regrow a bicep that's ruptured or a muscle belly that's fully torn. So they're not that different to the rest of your body, and a lot of times it's really not cause for alarm. And I'm now thinking of this new term that's maximum tolerable intensity when it gets to recovering from an injury, because I don't think we should be looking at getting back as slowly as possible. I think we should be more concerned with what causes excessive pain and avoid those things. It's 100% possible that you could have a back injury that happened in spinal flexion, say deadlifting, and you can go into spinal extension with no pain at all and you feel strong. In which case, why can't you go to say an incline press and go heavy incline press where you're flared out a little bit? Just saying, you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and nerves are able to adapt just like the rest of the body.
Logs left benching in your program. How do you feel about that?
Mixed feelings, because exertion-wise, it's always easy when you're lying down, and I think I got a long way to go. And actually, naturally, if you get stronger, chest, shoulders, and triceps, it's going to pay off with everything else. And if you do it in a way that's not going to tax your nervous system too much, then you're probably winning. So I'm definitely in the camp of bench press improves overhead press. Let me know how much that upsets you in the comments. Very little. Like, you mean truly isolating?
Yeah.
Very little. Yeah, I mean, the only real muscle that I can think that's disproportionately important would be triceps. So I think tricep strength is really important, but it's so much about coordinating the muscles and the strength that you already have that if you spend too much time isolating things, then you lose the benefit of creating those motor units from your brain to efficiently coordinate movement. So yeah, especially close to competition, very little energy should be dedicated to that. Maybe 1, maximum 3 exercises towards the end of a workout. But the bulk of your session, which is probably anywhere between 7 and 13 sets, the vast majority of that should be your main work. So maybe 10 sets of compound work related to your events, 3 sets of accessory work. That strikes a fair balance.
Back at it with the BFR cups.
Back at it again. Love these things.
Whose is bigger?
Pump is real.
You've often talked about the BFR cups being good for like injuries, but I noticed that you've been using them just for most of your accessories like this. Why is that?
They're just good to lower the weight give a break to all your joints and still get a good muscular adaptation, mostly in the muscular endurance category, because you're basically starving the muscle of oxygen, and then it has to adapt to be more efficient taking up oxygen to upregulate enzymes. So if you're doing something for a lot of reps, or say you're doing like a clean and press for reps and you're getting out of breath, your body's starving for oxygen, if you can have important muscles using less oxygen proportionally, or I should say more efficient at pulling the oxygen you have out of your bloodstream, then they're not going to give out. So if I was exhausted, clean and press for reps, but my triceps were well conditioned, then I should be able to push through. I've definitely gotten more vascular over the past couple of months, and I definitely attribute it to these guys. Which is, by the way, not just an aesthetic thing. If you get increased capillary density, which is a normal adaptation of training that would be propagated by blood flow restriction, then it's just physics. Your muscles now have more blood flow going to more areas of the muscle, so easier for it to recover, not just for workouts, but also for consecutive workouts. Sorry, I should say not just for sets, but for consecutive workouts. All right, that's it for me and my juicy biceps. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a moose drop me if you would, a little period down in the comment section to show your support and get the video to more people. But we are 7 weeks out from the Rogue Invitational, all going well. I feel really, really good, and I can't wait to get back out on the competition floor. So thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Stay tuned for some more. I'll catch you next time.